The number one thing I'm looking for when I meet a couple client for the first time is, what's the investment here? How motivated are you to make this work? And sometimes people come in and they say, I'm not willing to do everything that I can do. And that's a problem. And we can talk about that, but ultimately I can't work any magic that's going to create something that they're not interested in having. That being said, that's the minority of my clients. Most of them come in and say, I don't know what to do, but I just want to learn, so help me. And particularly with men, I think they deserve so much credit, because coming into a therapist's office, especially a female therapist with their wife, is scary and takes so much courage.
I'm talking about a marriage counselor, Martin.
Marriage? Gina, please. In high school, I didn't even go to my guidance counselor.
Would you please? Can we just try it?
That's it, Gina. No. No. Okay, my mind is made up. Marty Mard ain't going to no counseling. Okay, Mr. Marriage Counselor, let's do this, okay, because my meter's running.
I want wives and girlfriends to see that as them showing love right there by just coming in the office.
You know, with any relationship, there's time to evaluate, is this a good fit? You know, these things that really bother me about my partner, like for Martin and Gina, Gina is really upset by his temper.
Look, I'm only asking for you to watch your temper. That's just one small little itty-bitty change, Martin.
Small change? That's who I am. I throw people out.
I talk with couples who are not married yet and ask them, you know, if the person never changed at all from this point forward, would you still be willing to marry them or, you know, continue your life with them? And so that's something to think about. When going into a relationship with someone, they're in their late 20s. They've been acting this way for 20-some years. And so any change would probably be slow, and it'll take a lot of work. And so even with that, are you willing to, you know, be with this person as they change and grow? And even if they don't.
Girl, all right, look good. You know what? I will try for you, Gina. I will try to watch my temper, okay?
I don't see the union continuing. No, because first of all, he's so steeped in this idea that he's not a man. He's so insecure about not being a man because she's more educated than he is, that really will create a problem.
I'm gonna take some time to myself, all right? You know, try to get myself together, find out who I am, Gina. You know, learn how to be a man, keep my head to the sky, Gina. All right, baby? You know what I'm saying? Get the wind beneath my wings, because I know I got them, baby. You know?
There's no intellectual parity. That's the big thing. And there has to be in order to make a relationship work.
You know nothing about art, Martin.
Yeah, well, I know that butt looks better in a box than it does on my coffee table, Gina.
But I gave it to you.
Yeah, but you knew I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but you should have liked it, Martin. You need to grow up.
Oh, why do I need to grow up, Gina? Just because I like to hang out with my partners instead of going to some bougie museum? Huh? Just because I like to have fun around my place and put a damn smile on your face?
No, because you're not in third grade anymore. You're in a relationship. And if you keep making fun of everything about me that you don't understand, then I don't know how we're going to go on.
So they can't move the relationship forward. It's going to stay stagnant in one place, and it's going to be frustrating for both partners. And eventually they'll do things to even damage the relationship more. Like he may go out and have an affair, or she may go out and have an affair. And that destroys the foundation of a marriage. There are cases where a partner or a party has not been formally educated, but yet that party has learned to think critically and to do all of the same things that people learn to do when they go to college. So those marriages probably can work.
So I've done some training in Imago couples therapy, and the idea is that couples can work. And it's helpful for each person to understand, again, this is the vulnerability I'm bringing in, helping couples understand where that tension comes from. It may not always be a place of, I really don't like you because I think you're too bougie, but it could be the flip side, which is like a vulnerability. Like, what if this person what if she thinks she's too good for me and she leaves me? I really care about her, but I don't want her to leave. And so you sort of go after that thing. That's the vulnerable point.
One thing that I thought was hopeful is that after Martin lost his job, he expressly went on this sort of this journey of self to try to find himself, which seemed really out of character with where he had been before. But I found hopeful because it showed a depth that maybe he hadn't showed to Gina, hadn't showed even to himself. I think with these things that we're talking about in place, Martin and Gina's relationship definitely could. I think every relationship can work until they say it can't. And really, it would be up to Martin and Gina. I think they love each other, they're highly motivated, and if they're willing to look at their own stuff and compromise on the way they work together, absolutely.